Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk about a common theme that I've noticed throughout my awakening journey, which has happened in various stages. And with each stage, the deepening of this understanding has really helped me come into a place of empowerment and help me regulate my experiences, my emotions, and my communication, not only in the physical world, but the non-physical world as well. And so that common thread is my biofield. So when I found out about this concept, I thought, wow, that's really interesting, because it's really truly like science meets spirit. And it shows us that these things are actually very closely related. So everything biological has this living, pulsating field that encases it. And in the case of myself, my field is encompassing my energy bodies and my energy centers. And so this housing, this casing, is really my filtration system to my reality. And so everything that I come into contact with is being filtered through this field, and everything that all the frequency I'm emitting is also coming from my field. So it can be affected by my energy bodies, my mental body, my emotional body, my physical vessel, my physical body, and it changes the electrical pulsing or the frequency that I'm emitting out into the world, into the reality. And so that is going to be, that's greatly going to determine what I'm attracting back into my own experiences. And also it's very much the same with like spiritual practices. So as I was meditating and I started to regulate the communication that I was getting with the spirit world, I realized that more of, in the same principles, the more of what I am going to receive back in case of like communications as a psychic medium. And so working with this field has really allowed me to understand that, I already said it, we get what we are, and what we give is what we get. So those principles, they sound so simple to say, and it is simple to say, but super, like, there's a lot of depth behind that and for what that means for us. So I actually want to share, one time I was having a channel, I was channeling, and Hathor came to me, and she really had some interesting information to give me about the field, our energy field. So this housing, this casing to our energy bodies and our energy centers, it is to the higher realms. This is how she explained it to me. It was very, very fascinating. So to the higher realms, when you're out of like the 3 and 4 dimensional view, there isn't like perspective. It isn't like height, width, and length. There's actually no parameters in that way. It's very much like if you've had an out-of-body experience, you realize that you're not your mind. You have a consciousness, and it's like you're omnipresent, but you are not having conscious thought, that you're not the mind. It's a separate aspect of yourself. So in terms of like your field, it's when you're communicating with a higher with an entity or an awareness that has a higher perspective and that's holding that higher frequency, they see all in your field. So she was saying that our fields hold all the information to everything that we've ever been and that will ever be. Every thought, action, every existence that we've had is all coded into our field. So what was shown to me was like the movie The Matrix. If you've seen The Matrix and you see all the coding, it's like that. It's like our field is like a big donut of coding, really. And that coding can be perceived and read, much like a book is what she was saying. It's like a book. And so I found that to be extremely interesting too. And it was really relevant because even if you're not dealing with like spiritual world and communication on that level, just dealing with relationships, people, going to work, family, you realize our fields are like bumping up against everybody's field all the time, even our pets and anything that's biological, minerals, everything. And so I find it's fascinating because you really do need to impart boundaries, because you are reading other people's information and you're picking up on their fields. And I mean, as a natural intuitive, that's going to be it can be very like a disturbance to your own field if you don't know how to regulate that and you don't know how to put up boundaries. And so this was all a learning process for me. I'm a recovering serial people pleaser. And yeah, it took me many years to learn how to be okay with putting up boundaries. And that fortified my field, really. It strengthened my field. Now I can be out in public, I can be around people, and it doesn't affect me, even if they're in a strong emotional charge. It really doesn't have any effect on my field. But that is a learned skill, I will say. Yeah, I feel like it's almost too bad we're not taught this in science class, because not only quantum physics, but I think pretty relatively basic physics, it's known that, all biological forms have a measurable field about them. And as, humans, we are electrical, we're magnetic, our heart's magnetic, our minds are electrical. We're giving off these pulses, these frequencies, these sine waves that are like pulsing throughout reality, and we're basically in a soup of frequencies all the time. So learning to read your own field and learning how to like regulate your own field, I guess, is essential to being able to operate in it's like essential to being able to operate in like the highest way for yourself, in the greatest form of sovereignty. Really boils down to sovereignty. And yeah, I feel like this should be taught to us earlier. It really would be helpful, I feel, for people. But let's see. I think that's all I really have to say about that. I just wanted to share what I have discovered through my journey and what I find really interesting, and that's really been a huge foundational understanding to my created reality, my manifested reality, and my experiences, my relationships and communication with people and with the spiritual world. So let me know what you think. What are your experiences with that? Does this sound like out there, or have you worked with your field before? I would love to know. Comment below and share your experiences. I would love to hear them. And if you're interested in more content like this and conversations, I invite you to please subscribe. Have a beautiful rest of your day. See you in the next one.